Ultimate Fighter Ronda Rousey, the superstar athlete, making a powerful confession, admitting that when she lost that championship fight back in November, she considered taking her life. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with her story. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, guys. Rousey was the UFC champion until that moment in November when she was knocked out after a devastating kick in the head from Holly Holm. Rousey says she was so devastated, she sat in the hospital afterward and questioned, what am I anymore if I'm not this?
Ronda Rousey!
She's a powerhouse athlete and a stunning cover model for Sports Illustrated. Mixed martial arts superstar Ronda Rousey is seemingly able to do it all.
She's unbelievable.
But now she's speaking out for the first time on camera since her shocking defeat to Holly Holm in November.
Holly Holm is the new UFC bantamweight champion!
Tearfully revealing to Ellen DeGeneres Tuesday that she had suicidal thoughts following her devastating loss.
And I was literally sitting there and thinking about killing myself, and that exact second I'm like, I'm nothing. I'm like, what do I do anymore?
Rousey, whose father committed suicide when she was just 8 years old, credits her boyfriend of almost a year, UFC heavyweight Travis Brown, for picking her back up.
I looked up and I saw my man, Travis, was standing there, and I was looking up at him, and I was just like, I need to have his babies. I need to stay alive.
Ronda told me that Travis reminds her a lot of her father because he is a protector.
ESPN's Ramona Shelburne, who spoke with Rousey 10 days after the hard hit, says the athlete was at one of the lowest points in her life.
In that moment, in the first second she was trying to process it, it really did feel like the life that she had been leading was over. And I think that's what she was trying to say there.
The 29-year-old now admits she was burnt out after competing in her third title fight in 9 months. And while she might be out of the running for now, she says she has big plans for the future.
I really do believe I'm still undefeated, because being defeated is a choice. Everybody has losses in their life, but I choose to always be undefeated.
UFC champion Holly Holm reacted to Rousey's agony, saying, when you lose at something you pour your heart and soul into, it's a terrible feeling. Holm is scheduled to defend her title March 5th, and Rousey is then expected to fight the winner of that fight, likely in November. Rousey says she wants to beat Holm to, quote, make everything right again. Amy.
All right, Lindsay, thanks so much. And joining us now, psychiatrist Dr. Janet Taylor. And Janet, you could see the emotion of Ronda in that moment. What do you think the impact is for those watching to hear her reveal that very dark moment?
Well, it's powerful because you have a champion who is expressing her vulnerability. I mean, everyone has a loss at some point in their lives, but for her, she had an extreme reaction because she said she was suicidal. And it also sounds like the loss challenged her sense of purpose.
And this is not something we hear many people admit. Why is it so hard for so many of us to be open about those moments?
Well, it's stigma. And so often still in society, there's a stigma against people who express extreme unhappiness or are suicidal or have a mental disorder or mental illness, and there's a difference. But the power is that she's expressing it and that she's saying she can work on it. And people need to know that almost 50% of Americans have a mental disorder, not mental illness, which means you can be diagnosed with something. So the point is, if you're feeling something overwhelming, you feel like you want to hurt yourself, or you feel extremely sad, talk to somebody about it, because if Ronda Rousey can say it, anyone can.
Right, because you can have that situational moment as well, that strong emotion. It was interesting, Ronda said when she was feeling that darkness, she looked up and saw her boyfriend, and that pulled her out of it. How important is it to have someone, anyone, there with you in those times?
Well, it's important. It was a moment. It was a suicidal thought. If someone is actually suicidal with a plan, that's an emergency. But having a sense of support is extremely important. If you have a religious affiliation, to talk to someone. And the key thing is to understand that you don't have to resolve it on your own. If you're a family member and you hear someone who's suicidal, get help.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of people are in those moments, and part of the reason why they feel so down, so sad, so suicidal is because they're alone. Who then do you reach out to?
Well, you have to break the silence. Talk to your health care provider. If you are employed, look for employee assistance. If you're a student, there are guidance counselors, and even at universities, there's counseling. And also, educate yourself about moods. Go onto the internet and find a reputable source like the National Institute of Mental Health, the Mayo Clinic, to identify what different mood swings can mean, and get help for yourself.
And to know you are not alone, there is help.
No, we have to break the silence and the stigma about what it means to have extreme mood swings.
All right, Dr. Janet Taylor, as always, thank you so much.